Item SCP-58, Object Class, Keter, Special Containment Procedures. SCP-58 is to be kept in isolation in a 5M by 5M by 5M containment chamber at all times. Walls are to be constructed of 3M 10 fets of reinforced heat-resistant steel, backed with a further 10M 33 fets of reinforced concrete. SCP-58 is to be fed a live cow every 3 days. Maintenance is to be conducted every 60 minutes while SCP-58 is dormant and every 15 minutes when SCP-58 is active. Under no circumstances is SCP-58 to be allowed out of its containment area. SCP-58 is to be audio recorded at all times. No personnel are to listen to SCP-58 for more than 30 minutes at a time. In case of escape, facility is to be considered compromised and detonation of on-site nuclear weaponry is to commence. To date, SCP-58 has been responsible for the death of at least 149 Class D personnel and 14 agents at its current site. Description: SCP-58 resembles a bovine heart, with 4 arthropod-like legs used primarily for movement, and 4 tentacles of adjustable length, covered with razor-sharp spines. It has a single sharp stinger on its rear, where the hole for the superior vein, a cava, would be in a typical organ. SCP-58's tentacles can be whipped to a distance of 3.2 m 10.5 fets at speeds in excess of 320 km/h 200 mph. SCP-58 is extremely hostile and will use every opportunity afforded to it to inflict damage on its surroundings. SCP-58 has been shown to be highly resilient to trauma and should be approached with caution, even when apparently incapacitated. SCP-58 is highly mobile and capable of rapid movement on both horizontal and vertical surfaces. It has been recorded reaching a speed of approximately 90 km/h 55 mph in short bursts, covering distances up to 200 m 656 fets, and has the ability to accelerate from 0 to 90 km/h 55 mph in less than 2 seconds. It has been shown to use its tentacles for increased leverage and stability, as well as utilizing them to pull itself to other surfaces at high speeds. SCP-58 speaks in a human voice, though no method of producing sound has been observed in its physiology. It speaks with vocal tone and accent of an elderly British male with a slight lisp and deep voice. SCP-58 talks constantly, regardless of conditions, even when attacking. SCP-58's voice and pace of speech are unchanged. The speech of SCP-58 lacks any detectable correlation to events, persons, or exterior locations involved with SCP-58. See transcript of Interview 58-4. SCP-58 was first encountered at site redacted as it came out of data expunged. SCP-58 was extremely hostile and appeared to be very agitated. Initially, SCP-58 attacked site redacted, which resulted in the death of redacted faculty and redacted agents. SCP-58 went on to attack the nearby town of redacted, resulting in the death of over-redacted citizens and the destruction of 70% of the surrounding buildings. Post-breach analysis determined a majority of the deaths are attributable to fire and fire-related injuries resulting from a wide spread of stinger fluid by SCP-58 from a large structure. This is also blamed for a majority of structural damage. Redacted by SCP-58 accounts for only 8 of total deaths, with major evidence data expunged. SCP-58 was finally contained after being crushed and incapacitated by a large amount of masonry from a building that had collapsed on top of it. SCP-58 was then extracted and transported to redacted by agents and MEF teams. SCP-58 was contained at redacted for 3 weeks, during which it made minimal attempts to move, attributed both to physical damage and bloating from redacted during the initial breach incident. Testing during this period was limited, with SCP-58 still maintaining a high threat level even in its impaired state. SCP-58 breached containment on redacted during an attempted transfer to an SCP containment site, causing multiple deaths and injuries. SCP-58 was eventually incapacitated by Agent Redacted, who managed to subdue SCP-58 by running it over with an ammonia tank, pinning it beneath the armored vehicle. SCP-58 was subsequently secured and transported to Armed by O Containment Area 14. Transcript of Interview 58-4. SCP-58. I had dreams of the Queen Wonders that lived inside the hearts of love and silent treatments of all the elderly that I knew were once whole. Drive Johnston. What is your name? SCP-58. I seek the revelations of all that the holy told to the unwise in the dreams of cold embers in sunlight that fade across lakes of black blood and snakes that eat the loaves of children from lamb trees in autumn. Drive Johnston. What is your name? SCP-58. Endless suffering is the woe of ignorant men who never lack to seek the depth of their own hearts and only see the wealth of a poor world suffering to flay its own back in knife wounds of silver and brutal gladness. Drive Johnston, where are you from? SCP-58. The nightmare is a dream to the nameless slug that wanders across minefield and the remains of deer and kings. Personnel D67. This is some creepy-ass D67 cuts off into screaming. SCP-58. Nightshade is shadows in all honest blinks that sort through the FBI of newborn plagues. Instant warmth is a mother's milk in dreams before anything was ever evil. Personnel D67 continues screaming.